Hiya, I'm Jen Ives and you are watching / listening to my podcast, Lobotomy World. You're welcome. It's lovely to be here another week. I don't know which one we're on now. Probably like episode, I want to say 10. I feel like I've done 10 of these. It could only be 2. That's the passage of time is becoming more and more fleeting as the days go by. I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. I don't even know when I am. That's the crazy thing. Either way, we're here, we're podcasting, and as long as you're podcasting, that's the important thing. That's what they say. They say it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter how good or bad it might be. It doesn't matter what kind of problems you're dealing with. Just keep podcasting. Just keep turning on the microphone and podcasting through them. That's the only way to get by. People's value is based these days on their ability to podcast. And if that is how we are measuring greatness, you have to admit 10 podcasts in, I'm on my way. As always, I would like to thank everybody who has subscribed so far. My channel is, I'm told by YouTube head brass, growing. It's growing, which is exciting. You know, when you plant a seed and you water it and then you put sunlight onto it, you do wonder sometimes, you think, will it grow? Will it sprout and blossom? And you stare, don't you, at the mud for ages, and you check it every day and you think, okay, when is this plant going to start making me money? Right? When am I going to get the message, the email that my plant is now eligible for monetization? And then it sprouts, doesn't it? It sprouts, and that you see a little bit of green coming through the soil, and you think, wow, that's it. We've made it. And yeah, so I was going to make a video when I hit 1,000 subscribers, but it all started to snowball a little bit quicker than that, and I haven't had time to make like a celebratory video. I mean, let's be real, really, celebratory videos, they were just a way to kind of like celebrate milestones. But what do you do when you can't even keep up with the milestone? I'm on like 2,158 or something right now. And that's incredible. Never, when I started YouTube, did I ever think I would have 2,158 people interested in hearing what I have to say. But by God, are you interested? You let me know with your comments and your likes and your subscribes, and when you watch the videos as they premiere, that means a lot to me. So I just want to say thank you so much. And I'm not going to go on about it for ages and ages and ages. You know, that would be boring. But what I would say is, I am now eligible for monetization. And to me, that's very exciting. Not because I think I'm going to be able to make loads and loads of money out of doing this. I didn't get into it for the money, okay? I don't do things for the money, okay? I don't do anything for the money. I don't even like money. I don't even have any money. That's how much I dislike money. I refuse to have it. I've got a job and they try to pay me for it, and I say, listen, I'm in this for the love only. So take my wages and sprinkle it into all of my other colleagues' wages, and I'll just take a nice little smile from time to time. But I am eligible for monetization now on YouTube, and it is exciting to me because I've never been eligible for monetization on YouTube before. So one of the main reasons why I'm excited about it is it means that I can do members only videos. That means I can post videos up every now and then that are only for members. Now, no one has become a member yet, and that's fine. But I would like you to be aware that I do have a back catalogue of members-only podcast episodes that I am starting to upload now. And there is one, well, actually, at the point of putting this video out, there will be 2 available. So you should go become a member. I don't know how much it costs. You can go check that. And then you get access to members-only videos. That's going to be extra podcasts. That's going to be behind-the-scenes things. That's going to be maybe even little vlog style videos. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. That's the crazy thing. I can put anything on there I want to. And I mean anything. You know what I mean? I don't mean that. That's not going to be happening. I want people to appreciate me for my mind, for my big, beautiful brain, and not these things. For once. So it's Pride. It's Pride Month. It's June. I think June is Pride Month. Let me have a check. I have my laptop in front of me now. Is Pride Month June, UK? Pride Month takes place every year in June. It is a celebration designed to recognise the influence of the LGBTQ plus community and the ongoing struggle for rights and legislation to protect members of the community. So yes, I was right. Okay, I'm a good queer person. I know when Pride is. And listen, Pride is a very, very important thing. And I know some of you are probably thinking, a month? A whole month? How come you gays get a whole month and veterans and mechanics and electricians, they only get a day? How come? Well, one thing I would remind you of is that some veterans are also gay. It's not all, it's not what I'm saying, but some are. So be careful when you're slagging off Pride Month. Be careful and remember that there might be a gay veteran overhearing you who, you know, fought the Nazis in order to have his right, or most probably his right, to bang men. I do think it's quite funny when people get bent out of shape about Pride Month. Like, why do you need a whole darn month? Come on, a whole month? I always think, well, how much do you think we deserve? What is it that you think we should have? And I imagine they'd be like, well, half a month? And then they're like, no, actually, a day. No, well, an afternoon. Pride afternoon. We could do that. You know, the thing is, Pride Month is not, it's only really Pride Month in name, if you think about it. It's not like, okay, like you'll start to see a couple of posters maybe, some stickers in shop windows. But let's be honest for a second, there's not much else. It's not like the street becomes a big carnival. And what I'm saying here is I'm not talking about the event Pride, the one-day event of the Pride parade. I'm talking about the whole month. It's not like everybody has to run around going, I'm gay. Or like, it's not like gay people get priority, you know. Although I do think that those rainbow crossings that you sometimes see, I do sometimes think, well, they should have a specific purpose, those rainbow crossings. Like there should be like in the same way that a pelican crossing means something slightly different from a zebra crossing. The homo crossing, it should be like, well, gays do get priority, you know? Like if we're all waiting at the crossing and there's a bus and a car and a bike coming, they should, even if it's not a red light, they should slam on their brakes to let LGBTQ pluses pass. Straight people, though, should continue to observe proper green cross code etiquette just in the month of June. A month? A whole month? How dare they have a whole month? I don't want my... People take it very seriously. People get very, like, attached to that month suddenly in June. You know, like, hold on a minute. That's June. That's my June. You can't gay up June. Some people really think that, like, Pride cancels out the other events that are in June. You know, like, imagine, like, some of these people, their birthdays must be in June. And they're like, Great. Now Pride's June. What does that mean for me? I'm going to have to change my birthday now. I guess I'll do it in July. Don't do that, okay? If your birthday's in June, that does mean that you are gay now. You have a gay birthday, you are gay, and that is just something that you're going to have to get used to. I do feel like Pride is a little bit bittersweet this year. I feel as if people... I certainly know from my own experience and my own friends that we're not really feeling... We're always feeling proud, okay? Pride is not just a 1 week a year for us. Pride is everything to us. But when it comes to the actual celebration, the actual festival, you know, the parade and such, I at least know that those in my immediate community, we're not feeling too yippee about it at the moment. That isn't to say that there's nothing to be proud of, but I think it's just a reflection of the fact that things don't feel... It doesn't feel like a celebratory time. Like, things feel a little bit kind of bad right now. Scary, weird, unprecedented. Another word that is like those other words. And I think a lot of us kind of feel like, well, it's cool, do Pride and everything, but also maybe we should do our own thing, you know? Maybe we should start our own festival. One where we really stick it to the man, and we really put two fingers up to the establishment. Because I think, you know, Pride has become very corporatized, hasn't it? It has. It's become very corporate, the Pride. And we used to see that as a win. You know, wow, because we know that money makes the world go round. We're not naive. And we know that, you know, when corporations display their support for the gays, it does actually mean something. What it means is, it means that they've seen a possible market opening to be exploited. And, you know, us LGBTQ plus IAs, we want to get in on it too. We want part of the corporate structure, you know? We want to be the big bosses. And some corporations are run by homosexuals. They are. McDonald's, I believe, is a gay company. I think the guy that invented McDonald's, I think he was always given hand jobs to men. Not always, sometimes. I know that Unilever is actually a transgender organisation, and I heard that Unilever are putting HRT and puberty blockers into all of their products. And to me, that is what Pride is about, really. But I do feel like this year I have noticed considerably less corporate sponsorship of Pride. You know, you go on the London Pride website and you have a look and you see who are the corporate sponsors this year, and it's like Coke Zero. You're thinking, Coke Zero? You're not even going to commit to Coke? It's just, they're like, you can have zero. Also, why not Diet Coke? Isn't Diet Coke the gay one? I thought it was like classic Coke, red Coke. I thought Coke was for, like, you know, men. And then I thought Diet Coke was for ladies when they're in the office and they're looking at like a builder's bum. And then by extension I thought, so Diet Coke was also for LGBTs. And then I thought that Coke Zero was for like boys, like young boys who were health conscious. They didn't want the full calorific sugar time of Coke, but they wanted something different that wasn't Diet Coke. They weren't really big on the aspartame taste. That's what I thought, but this has just blown everything out of proportion for me. I mean, finding out that Coke Zero is sponsoring London Pride was a shock, you know? Like, what does that say? I mean, let's be real, we shouldn't really be endorsing Coca-Cola anyway, should we? Really? I mean, let's be honest, do we really want Coca-Cola there at all? Do we? Is that something that we want? You tell me. I don't think so. I know what Coca-Cola get up to. I know what they're funding. The arms trade. I know what they're funding. Missiles. Pumping sewage into local drinking water reservoirs and stuff. I've read a book, okay? I read one very specific book by Mark Thomas about Coca-Cola. Can't remember what it was called, but it was good. I read about 15 years ago. But do we really need corporate sponsorships? You know, I mean, it's nice to have a bit of money. You know, maybe if Coke get on board, they can be like, well, we'll pay for a big float. And the float will be a celebration of getting tested for HIV. And you're like, that's good awareness. But then Coke like, but also we want you to put the big Coke logo on it and not talk about any of the HIV stuff actually. Just focus on the product, okay? Focus on the Coke of it all. But when I'm walking down the local high street these days, you know, I'm always checking in the windows to see if they've got their Pride celebratory stickers in there. Because during Pride Month, I will not go into any shop that doesn't have a celebratory Pride sticker. And it has to be a rainbow one with the progressive Pride flag on it. Or I won't go in there. And it's hard because, you know, a lot of the food shops don't have it up. They're dealing with their own problems. You know, a lot of these have you noticed how many food shops in the UK have been hacked and have no money now, apparently? It happened to M&S, it happened to Co-op. I think it happened to Sainsbury's as well, because I was in a Sainsbury's local the other day. I say the other day, it was yesterday. And I went in there and I said to my boyfriend, I said, I'll go in there and see if I can get a pizza for my dinner. Well, we were only in there about 5 seconds, and it was very evident that I would not only would I not be getting a pizza, I didn't really get anything because there was nothing on the shelves. They had like vapes and stuff, you know, that wasn't a problem. If you wanted that, they had some like cookies and whatever. The freezer was empty. The shelves were empty, barren. Depressing. It's scary. It's like we can't normalize the empty shelves. This is starting to feel post-apocalyptic to me. The point is, I think a lot of these establishments, these corporations, these shops, stores, if you're American, I think they're you know, they're shook, they're scared, they're worried with the whole, you know, anti-DEI stuff, diversity, equality, and inclusion. You know, that's being frowned on these days, which is weird, isn't it? Don't you think that's a bit odd? Like, I thought those were good things. In my opinion, they are good things. I still think they're good things. I think diversity is good, right? Because we're all different, and we all have things that we could teach each other and learn from each other. And societies that don't have any diversity tend to be more insular, tend to be more fear-driven. Equality, I mean, who could be against equality? I mean, don't answer that. There's seemingly a lot of people these days not into it as a concept anymore. I still am. I like the idea of equality. I think it's good that human beings see each other on a level playing field. I think that should be encouraged where possible. You know, I think people should be treated on the... I think I came up with this actually, but I think people should be judged on the, on the quality of their ideas and their, their personalities, not the colour of their skin, okay? I think I came up with that. And it's not just skin colour, it's everything. It's just about not prejudging people and giving people a chance to be involved. And that's where inclusion comes in, the big I, inclusion. It's nice to include people. And it's horrible to exclude people unnecessarily. Like, don't get me wrong, like sometimes it's okay to exclude somebody if they're being a dick. If you're throwing a birthday party and everyone's like, oh, you forgot to invite Pam. And you're like, yeah, but Pam hates me. Every time I see Pam, she tries to punch me in the neck. Then it's like, okay, you don't have to include Pam, but the end goal should always be that we want to get Pam on the level. We want Pam there. Maybe Pam's not so bad. Maybe Pam does have some redeeming qualities. Maybe Pam's just angry for reasons that we don't understand. But it's like what's happening in America. Howdy. I'm from America. Got a donut? In America, Donald Trump, if you don't know who I'm talking about the President of the United States, Donald G. Trump. He said that, DEI is over, all of these workplaces need to get rid of it because it's stupid and it's racist against white people. And one of the most shocking things was, in my opinion, how many corporations in the States seem to really quickly kowtow to that. Like, oh, yes, Donald Trump, okay, no diversity, equality and inclusion because you said so. And I think what it shows is it shows that the money will always be king, unfortunately. So that's why you can't really rely on corporations during Pride. You can't rely on them. Now, there are some corporations that, some businesses, some stores, supermarkets, etc., that have been long-term supporters of Pride. That pride themselves on their hiring practices, which pride themselves on being queer-friendly workplaces. But as I've discussed before, this recent Supreme Court ruling in the UK has meant that a lot of those kind of places, even the most progressive ones, they don't know what to do regarding vis-a-vis toilets. I just made a video essay about it, actually. If you haven't watched that yet, you can watch it on the YouTube. It's called Why I Won't Stop Using the Ladies' Toilets. And, it's doing all right, but it could be doing better. So go and watch it. Go and make me some of that money from monetization. But that's the thing, isn't it? A workplace can be as inclusive and well-intentioned and committed to LGBT rights as it wants to be. But when the law changes, when the government says this and the dictator says that and the police get on board with this and that, what are they going to say? What are they going to do, At the end of the day, money is the bottom line. And most corporations are just simply not going to, they're not going to risk it. And look, there's a happy medium. It's not black and white like that necessarily. I'm sure there are some CEOs or founders who do care. They do have a horse in the race. Even Dick Cheney, even the face shooting, warmongering Dick Cheney, even he has a lesbian daughter. And you think that doesn't colour how he feels about lesbian people? I think he's now probably pretty on board. George W. Bush Jr. from the 2000s. Remember 9/11? Do you remember when that guy threw a shoe at him? Anyway, what I'm saying is that George Bush is actually friends with Ellen DeGeneres, and she's a lesbian. And she's not just a lesbian, she's like a power lesbian. And she's not just a power lesbian, she's a she's evil, isn't she? Like, people don't like her really. Like apparently she's really mean to people. She lives in the UK now, which I'm kind of frightened about. You know, I don't want to bump into Ellen DeGeneres at Dalston Superstore. Forget about that. I think my favourite thing about, you know, when shops put like a sticker on the window for Pride, it's always like a little gay pride flag kind of sticker, and it's always by the door. And whenever I see that, I always think like, oh, that's nice, you know, that like queers are allowed in there. Because isn't that sort of like the implication of it? It's like all the other shops that don't have pride stickers on them and all year round don't have them. I've never thought really that I'm not allowed to go in there. Like, it would be weird, wouldn't it, if you were lining up in Chipotle and they were like, what protein do you want? And you were like, chicken. And then you noticed that like there was no pride sticker anywhere. And then you were like, oh no, this is not a pride friendly establishment. I need to leave. We better go to Subway instead, I guess. It always kind of makes me feel like a little doggy, you know, because it's like, are dogs allowed? Yes. Are gays allowed? Yes. And we've filled up a water bowl for both of you. Thank you. And listen, I'm not dunking on pride. I think pride is something that we need. We clearly still need it. I mean, we need it more than ever. Things are really going backwards in a lot of ways. But I wonder if we need it in quite the way that we've been having it for the past few years. I think, you know, I go along with the sentiment that a lot of other people have expressed, which is that, you know, it needs to be a bloody riot. Or if not a riot, at least there needs to be some anger in there, you know. We need to get furious. And that's important, you know, because nothing gets done unless you've got a little bit of energy. Also, we need to, you know, raise money for our people. Speaking of good causes, I did a good cause recently, not on my own. It wasn't me that like had the idea for it or anything like that. What I should say is that I participated I did a charity event. And I'm not telling you this to brag, okay? But I did do a charity event. In London, where I live, we did a big stand-up comedy fundraiser for the Trans Legal Clinic Fund, where we got all the trans comedians together. You know, all the big ones. I call us the 6 to 8 horse women of the transpocalypse. And we put on a show at the Pleasance Theatre, and we raised £5,000 for charity. And I'll show you. I'm just going to show you the poster that was for it. There it is. If you're just listening to this, you won't be able to see it, but the event was called Sugar. Okay, it was a fundraiser, and it was a great night. It was a great night, and the only reason I'm really telling you this is because I firstly want you to be aware of the cause, the Trans Legal Fund. I think it's a really important cause, and you can still donate to it if you want. You should go do that probably. And also, I just wanted to shout out all of the acts that was on the bill, including myself. Now, we tried to program this with a predominantly sort of trans and queer lineup. So we had Kiara O'Connor, brilliant. Jodie Mitchell, brilliant. Alex Franklin, brilliant. Sam Williams, brilliant. Ella the Great, brilliant. Dee Allen, brilliant. Sam Nicoresti, brilliant. Jen Ives, fine. Frankie Thompson, brilliant. Kemah Bob, brilliant. Jordan Gray, brilliant. And the sort of, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a name here at the top. Is Stewart Lee. It's Stewart. You know Stewart Lee? Have you heard of Stewart Lee? That's right, the big time British comedian Stewart Lee, who you may know from being Stewart Lee. Very successful, much revered, loved, alternative British comedy icon. And the reason why I have decided to tell you about this, to talk about this, is because, you know, so many big names these days are afraid to speak out in support of trans people. That's just the truth, you know? And there are also many who claim to support us, but when push comes to shove, don't really follow through and do much. And when I heard that we were going to be approaching Stewart Lee to see if that he would do the Sugar Trans Comedy fundraiser, I thought, I wonder if he will. You know? I mean, I've never met him before. I have now, but then I had never really met him before. But the point is that I thought, will he? You know, will he or won't he? Because here's the thing, I'm a Stewart Lee fan. I think most people are these days. He's bigger than he's ever been. And I just thought, well, you never know, do you? You never know, because Stewart Lee's been around a long time. Stewart Lee's worked with people who have now, I'm talking about in his early days, like he's worked with like big comedy, satirical behemoths who over time have proven, some of them have proven themselves to be pretty vile when it comes to the way that they treat trans people. And, you know, Stewart Lee is a very progressive guy, but paradoxically, that's not something that you can take as granted these days. Like, transphobia, for whatever reason, exists on a continuum that is seemingly unaffected by personal politics. It's perfectly sort of in line and acceptable for you to, for example, be largely empathetic, apparently, in support of equality and human rights, but also think trans people are disgusting. Ugh. So, you know, I did wonder, I thought, well, I haven't really heard Stewart Lee talk in any great detail or length about trans people and the issues that we're facing currently. So when I heard that he agreed to do the fundraiser, I thought, that's amazing. You know, I thought, wow, he's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's actually stepping up and saying publicly, I support trans people and this, you know, shouldn't be happening. And that's, it might seem silly to say, but so few do it. So few do it. That when it happens, I do feel like we should really draw attention to it and be like, this is great. You know, thank you. So I'm making this video to say, thank you, Stewart Lee. I really appreciate it. Didn't get a chance to properly say thank you on the night because a lot of people were talking to him and I was focusing on the packet of Baby Bells that were in the green room. I ate about 4 Baby Bells. I don't think Stewart Lee stayed to see my set. I don't think he knows who I am. But you know what? That's not what it's about. What it's about is that he showed up. What it's about is that he showed up and he did a really great set. He gave the people what they wanted, which is Stewart Lee. And you might be thinking, okay, well, I thought this was supposed to be a trans thing. Couldn't you have got like a big name in, like a big trans comedian name to bring in those numbers? Oh yeah? Who's that going to be then? We got the big ones. Who do you want us to There's no one else. allyship is incredibly important right now, and we need to be shouting out these allies when they start allying for us. We need to say, hey, thank you. You know? And that's how I feel. I'm not saying we need to be like, thank you, but I'm just saying, like, it's so nice to have someone actually supporting us for a change. And it wasn't just Stewart Lee. I made a video for the event as well that was like a compilation of like, hey, like, can you say some nice words about the event? And some of the people who got involved in that agreed to do it. It was great, you know? And that's what I'm talking about, like, you know, Joe Lycett, Ed Gamble, Alice Lowe from, you know, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, Prevenge. India Willoughby did one for us. Who else was there? Tia Coffey, Davina De Campo, like, all these people. It's encouraging, right? Kate Nash didn't do a video if I didn't ask her. I wish I'd have asked her. She probably would have said yes. I don't know Kate Nash. The other ones I do know, but Kate Nash I don't know. But gosh, Kate Nash has been on one recently, hasn't she? She's been out there fighting for us really hard. And I've always loved Kate Nash, okay? And I'm not just saying that. When I was at college, when I was at Lewisham College, I would frequently get the acoustic guitar out and I would do a cover of mouthwash and foundations that did start as a sort of like, you know, me doing the voice like as a joke, but then did grow into a genuine love for Kate Nash's music. And I do love Kate Nash's music. And I love Kate Nash for being out there and just being on our side. It's reassuring and it's nice, basically. My fingertips are holding onto the cracks in our foundations, and I know that I should let go, but I can't. You said I must eat so many lemons, 'cause I am so bitter. But I said I'd rather be with your friends, mate, 'cause they are much fitter. But you know what? It was a great night, and I'll be honest, over the past sort of couple of months, I haven't been enjoying the pursuit of stand-up comedy as much as I previously did in the last sort of 8 years. But doing this gig was a real kind of breath of fresh air. And it made me remember that I am actually incredibly good at it, to be honest. And unfortunately, I didn't film any of it, which is a shame because it was probably one of those ones that you probably might have wanted to have recorded. But you're just gonna have to take my word for it for how good it was. Anyway, that is the end of the public Lobotomy World episode today. But please remember what I said. There are members videos. When I upload this video, like as soon as I upload this video, I will also be uploading the members video, which is a whole new video. In fact, it's so new that at the time of recording this now, I haven't actually recorded it. But when I upload this, I would have recorded it. Do you know what I mean? Like, what I'm saying is what I'm saying now. At the time I'm saying it now, it doesn't exist. But at the time you're watching it, actually, which is the now of now, look, just check on the YouTube. There'll be a members video on there and you can become a member to access it. It's really great. Obviously, if you don't mess with YouTube memberships and all that kind of stuff, there is also a Patreon. It's patreon.com/lobotomyworld. And you get access to all the members videos and everything like that on there as well. And you get to become a Patreon and have your name at the end of the credits, like these people here. I think what we're going to be doing in the members episode is talking a little bit about some of the news over the past week. We're going to be talking about NHS guidance for trans people. We're going to be talking about Biles versus Gaines. That's Riley Gaines and Simone Biles going at it over trans rights, and we're also going to be looking at the We're also going to be looking at the Independent, which is a newspaper in this country. We're going to be looking at their Pride list for 2025. I mean, bafflingly, it's an LGBT Pride list, and there are some, good, deserving names on it. But bafflingly, at number 5 in the list is Wes Streeting. How did Wes Streeting get on there? And I'm sorry, I know Wes Streeting is technically gay. I know he's a gay man for all intents and purposes, physically, maybe. But do we really want a ghoul like him? Because one of the things, I'm going to go into this more on the members podcast, obviously, but one of the crazy things is you open up this article and it's talking about how it's been really hard, specifically for trans people, over the past couple of months, and with all the rights being rolled back and all this kind of stuff. And then you've got other newspapers putting out things about our rights being rolled back, but then they're changing the headline, and it's then at number 5 you've got Wes Streeting in the list, and it's you didn't have to do that. He's part of the problem. He's instrumental to some of this stuff. What the hell are you playing at? But yeah, if you really want to hear my hot takes on that, you know where to go. You know where to bloody well go. But if you don't want to support me in any kind of financial way, then you know what you could do? You could just go to my videos and have a look through them. I'm sure you'll find something interesting, like an old podcast episode or a video essay, to fill the time between now and next Friday when I put out a new video essay and a new podcast on the weekend. So anyway, that's all from me. Again, just want to say massive thank you for being a subscriber if you are one, and thank you if you decide to become a member or a patron. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm on Instagram at I'm Jen Ives. I have a website, jenives.net, and you can read the Lobotomy World blog at lobotomyworld.substack.com. That's all the plugging. I'm going to go and do the members episode now. Goodbye. Have a nice week.